Looking at the framework of how to become a global organization, we can get options in the various stages, in the early stages to the highest ones. We looked at exporting and importing as an option, in which companies may be sourcing material within the country or selling it to the outside world. Because you're not yourself moving to that country, just your products are being taken up. So it is one of the least risky option available as far as the global operations is concerned. So you could start with exporting and importing so that you become products become popular, or you take up options in which you could multiply your business by bringing products of the companies to your own country. That's the way Chinese market has exploded across the globe, where you see warehouses been installed across the world. And the Chinese have brought products not only from China but from across the globe, and they become the hub for manufacturing for many other countries as well. If you move on to the upcoming stages, you'll see that licensing and franchising is also available. You allow a company to use your brand name and do operations on your behalf. You're still not yourself found there, but allowing other companies to use your product names like the way Pepsi does it. Pepsi, where you have plants in Bhutan and also across the cities in Pakistan. They are not Pepsi Cola International, rather they're local manufacturers like Shamim and Company and Obahar Bottlers and many more. They basically are local manufacturers who have bought the name of a company and trying to sell it. You see distribution setups of many also use that. Franchises of all could also be seen as a item similar to that. If it is a service industry like telecommunication, hotel, and many more, you call it the franchises. And if you some manufacturing concern, you call it licensing. So it's slightly different for the both industries. Usually, as a synonym, it is used. We call the manufacturing as well as services all as franchise, but there is a slight difference in the two. Now, how they manage that? At times, the company that is providing you a license for its products may be earning annual fee based on that, your profit. At times, these companies don't allow you to manufacture the main ingredients, like the main syrups that are used in products or main formula. They basically sell formulas to their licenses and franchises as well. That's the way the beverages like Pepsi does. Pepsi Cola International, they check up your requirement as a manufacturer, like Swimming Company, Nobar bottlers. They send the syrup, the formula, for which the Pepsi taste develops, and pour them in front of their eyes into the machines. They don't allow local manufacturers to develop that formula. So this is a very interesting model. Wide variety of variations available in the licensing and franchising. The company's name is now associated with the local manufacturer, and any mistake committed by local manufacturer is definitely a blame, a mistake that is on the name of the whole company. That's why there's more risk as compared to exporting and importing. That's why it's much more riskier in stage two and stage three of the development of a global company. Uh, Most likely through monitoring, feedback, and control, the company could ensure that the licensee or the franchisee is working according to the requirements of the company. As we move ahead in terms of the higher ladders of the globalization, we see that companies may pick an option of strategic alliance, is like have a partnership with a company overseas by sharing resources but also developing new products and services. And many firms use this as an option because they already contact with a company which is like performing there, already knows the environment, knows the country. So somehow or the other, it's like sharing the risk with that company. Two companies are there, therefore they share all profits, losses, challenges as well. That's why as compared to foreign subsidiaries is still lesser risk oriented. Here, foreign subsidiary, the whole risk is with you here as an independent company. Also, the company may pick an option of joint ventures, in which a partnership is the partner organization form a separate new company. We also call it the merger as an option, or maybe an acquisition. An acquisition is a takeover, where a company takes over another one. There are many examples around also in the globe as well. Giant bigger companies who want to multiply and grow and jump into new markets, they use the options of strategic alliances and joint ventures throughout the globe. This is the way they expand and grow. Otherwise, company eventually once know what the market is, get themselves familiarized with the situation, now in a position to launch their own separate subsidiary or unit around there. Independent unit with no partnerships and company take the whole and sole responsibility. That's how Coca-Cola did. Eventually, now the Coca-Cola plant that is in Multan is not a licensee. Rather, it is an independent unit, a subsidiary of the Coca-Cola International. That is the way company may eventually end up into, so that they have full control over their things. So a company wants to start and becoming a global operator, they should take up least risky options according to the book of the authors, and then eventually learn through the experiences, development through the years, and then jump into the higher level options that are there. Once inshallah we'll be back, we'll be not only looking at the challenges of the global managers, but also we're looking at the interesting scenario in terms of the market integrations. We call it the economic integration, also called the integration of the countries. We want to see how and why companies, other countries rather than companies, tend to integrate with each other. Especially role modeling this integration, we call it the European Union (EU). Started in 1992, it had just 12 countries with sort of a treaty signed between them. Now there are around 22, 23 members of the European Union. And more members are gearing up to become part of that. Alone, standalone countries, they had little population, 11 million, 12 million, 17 million, maximum 20 million. But as a combined, you could see that they have a combined population of over 374 million. Now, people ask me why population is an advantage. You see more consumers, also in terms of more labor, good labor available. There is no restriction, so you can acquire labor and send products to your close by European Union countries without major duties and taxations. So now you could see European Union as a one single whole, and because of that, they have a greater advantage over rest of the world in terms of their free trade and movement of flow of goods from one country to another. And one of the biggest strengths is reflected through the currency. Usually in economics, the currency is a good indicator. Like the currency is growing and is in strong posture reflects on the success of that. See, euro started at just 7 rupees, 8 rupees, Pakistani. It's now you can say jumped to such a huge number, and they surpassed American dollar in a competition, reflecting upon its overall continuing growth. This was perhaps the ambition of the European Union. They wanted to be together and fight major economies like Japan and United States in a movement to accumulate resources and capitalize upon each other's competencies. So inshallah, once we back tomorrow, we'll be looking into dynamics of European Union and look at what advantages are there for managers within the market integration and then what are the challenges available to managers outside the market integration. Hopefully, we have a smoother session tomorrow. Very troubled time because electricity and major issues these are tend to remain a problem with us. I hope we have a very smooth session tomorrow and to finalize and conclude major findings in this chapter.